Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yeah. Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
I can.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, I can.
Good. If you stop being able to hear me or the volume goes bad, just tell me. Let's start talking. Jorge, how are you today?
Fine. And you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm in London and it's very, very rainy.
What are you drinking?
Yeah, I don't care about the weather. I want to know what you're drinking. I'm drinking whiskey.
Whiskey?
Yeah.
It is a good hour to drink whiskey.
Yeah. It's whiskey that looks like milk.
White whiskey.
White whiskey, yes. It's a special drink we have in England. Where are you based, Jorge?
Where am I from?
Yes, where are you based means where are you from?
Okay, I'm from Spain.
Okay.
From Spain, I am 46. I want to learn your evil language. English is evil. I hate English. No, I don't. But it's very difficult.
Evil.
I think Spanish people we are a little fully, little stupid to learn English.
No, I don't believe this.
Okay.
What you wanted to say was, I think Spanish people are too stupid to learn English.
Okay.
But this is not true.
In Europe, Turkey and Spain, there are two countries. The 50% people have difficult to speak fluently, like me,
Yes.
for example.
But no, you're speaking fine. Yes.
I must practice.
Well, that's why we're here.
Okay, I am in Berlin.
On verbing, exactly, to practice. Let me just say hi to a couple of other people. Is it Gizem or Gizem? How do you pronounce this? Gizem?
Yes.
Can you say it one more time?
Gizem.
Gizem. Okay. I think maybe you should turn your microphone volume up a little bit, Gizem, because it's difficult to hear at the moment. Gizem, did you email me?
No.
Oh, okay. Somebody emailed me to do this topic today, and I was wondering if they would come to the class or not, and it looks like they're not coming. But maybe they can see it on the video afterwards. So, Gizem, where are you from?
I'm from
Sorry?
Turkey.
Oh, and where in Turkey?
Ankara, the capital.
The capital. Okay, Jorge, what did you just say about people in Turkey?
I think that in Spain and in Turkey, there are the two countries where the English language is less level. I don't know if you can understand. Turkey and Spain.
It's less. What do you mean level?
Level, nivel,
Evil.
evil.
I don't understand what you mean. That the language is less evil in Turkey and Spain.
Okay. The level is low.
No, okay, I understand. Okay, so Jorge thinks that people in Spain and Turkey do not speak very good English.
According the study, some
Okay.
studies I have seen in newspaper.
Interesting. Okay, well, I can promise you this, that the level in England of Spanish and Turkish is even lower.
In England?
Yes, no, not many people can speak very good Spanish or Turkish.
Okay.
So it's the same.
Yes,
Okay,
you're right.
yes. So let's say hi to Erman. Can you hear us, Erman?
Yeah,
You can.
yeah.
Where are you from, Erman?
I am from Turkey.
Ha! Another low level of English speaker.
Yeah.
Prove Jorge wrong now. Show Jorge that he is wrong. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What city are you in?
I live in Izmir, south of country.
Okay. Is it a large population?
Yeah, nearly 2 million people.
Ah, can you write the name of the city so I can see it? Are you writing it in the chat room, Edman?
I write it.
Okay. Let's see who else we have. Johnny, welcome again. Johnny from Barranquilla, or Barranquilla.
Yes, hello everybody.
This is Johnny, he's from Colombia. He's very nice. And Olga we have again as well. How are you, Olga?
I'm great, thank you.
Good. Remind me where you are from.
I'm from Russia. I live in Moscow.
Aha, okay. I think everybody knows Moscow. Welcome to the lesson. And then we have Yaman.
Yes. Hello.
Hello, Yaman.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Where are you from, Yaman?
I'm from Syria.
Syria.
Yes.
Okay. Welcome. What city in Syria?
Aleppo?
In where?
Aleppo.
Ah, okay.
Now I'm living in the UK.
Ah, like me.
You're in UK.
Yes. Where in the UK? Maybe you're in the next house.
I don't think so. I'm in Newcastle.
Okay, no, you're not in the next house.
In which city are you living?
I'm in London.
In London.
Yes.
Nice city.
Yeah. It's not nice today. It's very wet.
Here is it wet as well, I think.
Yeah, everywhere in the UK today. Okay, and let me see. We had one more. Yeah. Oh, Yaman. How are you, Yaman?
I was Yaman.
I mean, sorry. But tell us again where you're living. No, I'm kidding. Hey there. Hey there.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening to you, sir.
Okay. And did you? I didn't already go, but you didn't tell us where you're from, did you?
I'm from Baghdad, Iraq. I'm a medical student in the sixth stage at Nahran University for medical college.
Ah, okay. So you're finishing university in Baghdad.
And this is the last year I'm practicing.
Oh, I see. Okay, but now you are still in Baghdad.
I'm still in Baghdad. But
Okay.
in future I will travel to London, God will.
Okay. Yilu, are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Welcome. Where are you coming to us from?
I'm from China.
Okay. Which city in China?
Maybe Yibin in Sichuan province.
Okay, very nice. Where is that? China's very big.
Yeah.
Is it close to a city that we might know?
Sorry?
Is it close to a city that we might know?
Where?
I'm saying, where in China is the city that you come from?
Oh, the southwest in Yibin.
Yiping. Okay, good enough. That's good enough for me. Okay, I think I saw Santos in the chat room. I'm not sure if he's there, but you should be able to join Santos because I think we had a space free. Anyway, the topic for today that we're going to talk about is social media, and the question that I want to answer, or maybe we can all answer together, is social media just a fad, or is it a serious? Does it represent a serious cultural shift in the world? I don't imagine many people know what the word fad means. Does anyone know what a fad is? No one knows this word. I'll type it in. Fad in the chat room. A fad is it's a trend. Does anyone know what a trend is?
Fashion.
No, it's not. A trend is not a.
Yeah.
A fad is a temporary excitement. So Gangnam Style. Everyone knows Gangnam Style.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
This is a fad. In 5 years, no one cares about Gangnam Style. But right now, everyone cares. So it's just a fad. It's something that comes up and then it goes down again.
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
Excuse me. There is a low quality of sound. There is echo from your original sound.
Okay, let me try some. Thank you for letting me know. Let me try one thing. I have a better microphone that may help us. 1 second.
Thank you.
One moment. Sorry, everybody. To wait 1 moment. So yeah, this is the question we want to know the answer to. Is social media a fad, or is it here to stay for much longer? Is this any better now, or is it the same, the echo? Everyone, you can still hear an echo, can you?
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
I hear it too slightly. I'm not sure what the problem is.
I don't hear this echo. I don't know what is the problem, but I don't hear this echo.
You don't hear the echo. Does anyone else hear the echo?
Yeah.
I hear it a little bit, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm doing everything normally like I do, but for some reason I think we may just have to live with it.
May I have an idea to resolve this problem?
Of
If
course.
anyone,
Yes?
I think anyone don't have a microphone.
You think someone doesn't have a microphone?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if we can check. Sometimes I was told if somebody has another Verbling video open at the same time, then this can cause problems. Because I hear it. I think if someone doesn't have the headphones, who doesn't have headphones? It's okay if you don't, but just so we know. I'll go through. Arman, do you have headphones?
Yeah.
Hizan, do you have headphones?
Yeah.
Hey there, he just came into the room, so it's not him. Johnny,
I hear you clearly.
but do you have headphones?
Yes, I have headphones. Yes.
Jorge has headphones, Manuel has headphones, Olga, like Nancy.
I can hear you very well.
You have headphones, Olga?
Yes, yes, I have.
Yaman and Yi, do you both have headphones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm very sorry everyone, and this is a bit of a mystery. We're gonna have to keep going forward because I don't know how to solve it this time. But hopefully next lesson there will be no echo. So I'm sorry for that. So the topic we're talking about today is social media just a fad? Or is it something that's really changing the way we communicate as people, and is it changing our lives in a very deep way that we are in the middle of? So, and I thought we could discuss social media as a definition. We could define social media at the beginning, and I have some interesting facts to share with you about social media, and then we can talk about social media as a force for good or a force for bad in people's lives, and then at the end we can decide based on this how big an impact does social media have in our lives. Does everyone understand force for good and force for bad? Force for good. This means a force is an effect. It has a good effect or a bad effect. Force for good or force for bad. So let me share some interesting facts and statistics with you. Hey, there's a lot of background noise at the moment. I might have to mute. Hold on. Sorry, Heather. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm just having a bit of trouble here. Okay, he's muted. I'll let you back in a second, Heather. So here are some interesting facts. Social media has overtaken pornography as the #1 activity on the internet. I thought that was quite interesting. Everyone uses social media. Everyone who has an internet connection usually uses social media. Right now, in fact, we are using social media. This is social media. So before I tell you what my definition is of social media, maybe I'll ask one or two of you to try to define what this term means. So let me ask Manuel, can you try to define social media for us? Manuel?
Yes, no. Social media is a very interesting way to know people, know country.
But what is, before you tell us what it is. What is social media?
Social media is for example, internet is a media. It's a media which you can communicate with other person, speak with other person, make opinion about certain topic, communicate with friends by internet, I think.
Okay, yes, this is a good definition. Does everyone agree with Manuel's definition? Olga, do you agree? Do you think this is a good definition for social media?
Yes, I agree.
Can you give us some examples of social media?
I use Facebook and other online social communities, local social community.
In Russia?
Yes, in Russia. And I'm not used it a lot. But if I'm tired and I want a rest, I check in my social media service.
Okay.
And it's easy to communicate with old friends and with new acquaintance. Yes?
Yes. You're absolutely right. So it's easy to make friends with people and keep in touch, you say, with people in your communities.
Yeah, yes. It's easy because we are live in different countries and it's very expensive to call people.
Okay.
And it's easy to keep in touch with different people.
Yes. So
Casually, this morning I have seen in the news that Spanish people 15% Spanish people use internet to get information.
15 or 50?
15. 15.
Okay.
Okay. And 30% use newspaper paper. So I think in the future maybe half percent people will use internet and half use paper. I think it's my opinion.
So you think that social media is important and it's making change, but it will never fully replace traditional media like newspapers and TV and things like this.
Okay, I can't forget about the television. Is the main social media to get information.
Yes.
I think not only in Spain but in other countries too. I think.
Okay, but we do not call this social media. This is traditional media.
Traditional.
So
okay.
TV and you know magazines and newspapers and things that are not on the internet usually. Now people are consuming their news often online, on blogs and on Twitter and on social media services like this. And there is a big tension between these forms of news and the traditional forms of news. So social media has led to the decline of the newspaper industry in many countries. Many fewer people read newspapers because of social media. So it's interesting to see whether this will continue forever or whether it will stop at some point. But now we have iPads, and Kindle. So more and more people now are consuming the digital version of print media. So if I liked a newspaper, now maybe I read it on my tablet or my iPad. Does everyone know what a tablet is?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, a Kindle and iPad, these are tablets. Okay, great. So it seems like we have a good idea, a good understanding of what social media is. It is a form of communication between people. This is what media means. It's a way to communicate. And social means with other people, I think. So it can be news, where we comment on news together. It can be sharing photos on Facebook. It can be looking at funny videos on YouTube. Anything that involves more than one person communicating in a way is a form of media, I think we can say. Whereas traditional media like television, newspapers, it's not really more than one person. It's like, this is the news, or this is what I want you to hear, and you have to consume it. And I don't really get to make my own comment or contribute or participate in any way. So one of the biggest examples of social media that has been brought up, I think Manuel mentioned, or Olga, is Facebook, of course. Facebook is the one that many people are familiar with. If Facebook was a country, it would be the third largest country in the world. That's an interesting fact for you, in terms of the number of users it has. I think it's close to, it's between 500 million and 1 billion users right now on Facebook. Let me give you, here's a good comparison to give you. Hold on a second. Hey there, you have to try and cut the noise off. There's a lot of noise in the background. We're going to have to keep you. Hey there. Hey there, can you hear me? Hey there, you have to try and control the noise in the background because we can all hear it. All right. Yes, go ahead. Manuel, you had a question?
Yeah, I have a question. No, a commentary. For example, every newspaper company has a digital edition. Is correct. It's correct. Then I think that it is not good for this company because the people don't read the paper edition, read the digital edition, and this is free.
Sorry, guys. Hey, Dad, I'm gonna have to push you out of the chat room, I'm afraid. Sorry. Yeah, sorry guys. Carry on, Manuel. I'm sorry. Hey, Dad had too much noise in the background, so we couldn't hear anything. But Manuel, you're saying that now people are reading the digital edition instead of the print edition.
Yes.
That is correct.
Yes. For this, I think that it is a problem for this company because they don't earn money because the digital edition is free.
Yes.
I don't know why the company make digital edition.
Yes. So, because if they don't make the digital edition, then they will be even poorer. Because people are stopping buying newspapers now, especially younger generations who have been brought up on social media and the internet. Many more young people are consuming the news. Does everyone understand consuming the news?
Yes.
So to consume, very quickly, consume means to eat something, to eat something. And if I'm a consumer, it means I'm not literally eating, but I'm buying things, I'm taking things in, I'm absorbing things. And so when I consume the news, it's like I'm eating the news in a very literal way, but this is not what it means. It just means I'm taking in the news. So many more people now consume the news online or on the internet. And Manuel said that this is obviously very bad for people, for the newspapers, because it is less easy for them to find money online, because everyone expects things to be free. Hold on 1 second. There is someone ringing my door. I will stop it. I'm very sorry. This will take 1 second, guys. Hold on. I'm back. Very unprofessional.
So fast.
So we had welcome to the class, Sharif. We're talking about digital media, online media. Sorry, social media.
Social media.
Social media. Okay. So
yeah, that's really good.
Yes. Does anyone know how Facebook grew to be so big in the beginning? Actually, does anyone know which was the biggest social network in America, at least, before Facebook? And then
MySpace?
Exactly. MySpace, thank you, Olga. And then does anyone know how Facebook managed to beat MySpace or to become the biggest?
Repeat, please.
The biggest social network, yes. How did there is a film that describes it called The Social Network.
Yeah.
I do not know if anyone has seen this film.
No, I haven't seen it actually.
No.
It's start in the college maybe. Someone I don't remember his name, but he makes the idea between his friend, and then it's moved to another university and another university, and then it's make an world social site.
Exactly. Abdullah has the right answer. So very good explanation. So if I wanted to launch a social network of myself, my name is Zach. I don't know if I should have introduced myself. I would call it the Zach Network about me. And it would be very difficult for me to build this social network if I launched it everywhere at the same time. Because maybe one person joins in London and one person joins on the other side of the world, on the other side of the world, and we don't know each other, so it's not that interesting for us. It's not fun. So the way to make a social network in the beginning is to launch it in a very small area or a small part of the world, and then where many people know each other, and then it becomes valuable because I know my friend knows someone else, and we can all communicate in this way that Olga was describing at the beginning as an online community. So the way Facebook launched, it started off in the university of the person who invented it. He's called Mark Zuckerberg, in Harvard, which is an American university. And everyone in Harvard came on, and when enough people in Harvard University were on Facebook, they moved on to a different university. And then a different university, and a different university. Guys, I'm very, very sorry. Somebody keeps ringing my doorbell. This will take 1 second. I'm sorry. Somebody.
You just press next to the door.
I will leave you with a question for 1 minute. I want to talk about social networks in other countries. So someone talk about, if in Russia, for example, Olga, if there is another social network that people use, tell us about this, and not just Facebook. And I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Be careful where they start.
Yes, go ahead, go ahead.
I think they just, just need to sit down next to the door. Maybe it's good for him.
Hi guys.
So any other guys, any other one have a social network in his own country?
Me?
For example, besides Facebook.
We have here in Azerbaijan.
Mm-hmm.
It is called as a Yallı.
That's a yellow.
Yeah. It's look like a Facebook, but I'm not sure if it is alive now. But we had it more than 2 years here. So when the Facebook became popular here, everyone moved to Facebook because you can find here all your friends, even from other countries. So this is it.
I have here too in Egypt a lot of sites that try to make a site like a book, but it's failed in final because it's not more popular than Facebook.
Yeah, sorry, Abdullah, can you repeat this? I'm now back.
Okay, I was saying that here in Egypt there are a lot of sites try to make like Facebook, but it's fail in the end because it's not more popular than Facebook, because Facebook is more international, so it's not taking a popular and nobody cares.
Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, it's very difficult to compete with Facebook. Facebook is the biggest social network.
Yeah, it's actually a big social network. But by the way, I'm by the way from Egypt also, and we have also Twitter in Egypt.
Okay.
Not only Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, Twitter and
in
Facebook.
Some countries, Twitter is more popular than Facebook.
In which country? What's the
especially in Japan, Twitter is more popular than Facebook.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Is there another social network that's popular in Japan other than Facebook?
Actually, I'm not sure. I am not from Japan, but I have seen the statistics about this. So I have seen there that in Japan, Twitter is more popular than Facebook, and in China there was another social network which is called, I think, Y8 or something like this. It's more popular than Facebook. They have more than 100,000 people.
Wow.
Yes, I think more than 500,000. So.
Okay. The ones that I know about in China are called QQ. And
yes, I heard about it.
Yes. And Ren. They like to repeat things. They like to repeat things in China. QQ, Ren. Yi, do you know? You must know about these if you are from China.
Oh yeah, because Facebook is forbidden in China and we cannot use it now. So the social media in China maybe is QQ or Weibo or something else.
And sorry, you said Facebook is forbidden in China.
I do not know because we can't use it like this. Google, like we also cannot join the class before and ask for help. So they tell me how can I join the class and to visit the foreign websites. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I was not aware that Facebook is banned in China.
Actually, it is not only in China. It's also banned in, I think, in Pakistan. I'm not sure, but Iran as well. I have been in Iran. I was not able to use Facebook. So.
Wow. Okay, so this is called censorship.
Actually,
if anyone was, go ahead, carry on. Right.
And the YouTube also was in censorship in Turkey as well. after a couple of years, they have opened it again. I think 2 years ago it has opened again. But there was some videos against the Turkey leader Atatürk in Facebook, so that's why the Turkish government, actually not government, someone went to the judge, and I mean they have banned YouTube on all Turkey. But after a year, they have opened it again because it's a censorship, and I don't know.
Turkey is supposed to be a democracy, no?
Yes, it's a democracy, but there was some kind of I mean, there is some opens in the how to say it. I don't know.
Here's a very good word for everyone to learn: is loophole. A loophole.
Loophole.
If something is a certain way, and this country is a democracy, then a loophole is an exception. An exception that somebody can exploit or use to benefit themselves. So maybe the Turkish Prime Minister or someone who does not like YouTube has found a loophole in the Turkish legal system or Turkish law to ban YouTube or to censor YouTube. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct. Yes.
Okay.
So, but they have opened the YouTube again.
Okay. I want to hear from Jorge now because we're going to structure this a bit more. We're going to talk about the good aspects and the bad aspects soon. But Jorge has the opinion that Facebook and Twitter are an experiment to control the population. Jorge thinks that English is evil, and he thinks that Facebook is evil as well. Is that right, Jorge? Oh, but he's not in the room with us anymore. I'm very sorry. Jorge, you were here at the beginning, and now you're not here. So this was just in the chat room. Does anyone agree with Jorge? I can see why he thinks this, because everyone is addicted to Facebook. Not everyone, but many people. I myself, I check in on Facebook, like Olga, a lot of the time, and it's now many companies are using Facebook to advertise and put their message across. So in a way, it is like you are being spoon-fed certain opinions, okay? So spoon-fed is another good word, to spoon-feed. These are advanced words I'm teaching you, but they're very good to learn. When you have a baby and he cannot eat properly, you have a spoon, you give him food from a spoon. He has to eat the spoon, and he has no choice. He's a baby, so he has to eat. So I think Jorge now says the governments have total control of these tools. So I think Jorge has decided that the governments are using these tools to spoon feed messages or their opinions to the population. So I would like to contradict this suggestion, and I would like to talk about the use of social media in the Arab Spring. Does everyone know about the Arab Spring?
Of course, I know. I'm from Egypt.
I know many of you are from the place, but not other people are from Johnny's in Colombia. But he knows about the Arab Spring as well, Johnny?
Yes, but I heard for that. Yes.
Of course, it was very famous. So many people were talking about the use of social media in the Arab Spring and how people used Facebook and people used Twitter to organize. So political activists use these tools to organize protests against the government.
I think. Can I start?
Absolutely.
Yes. I think as a citizen from Egypt, I can express this idea for you. As you know, from the first beginning, as the regime of the ex-president Hosni Mubarak, we were depressed. We can't do anything. We couldn't do anything, for example, to share our opinions or to do something like that in the streets or to make riots or something like that.
Okay.
But it was the only open for us. It was the only press or the only path in order to express ourselves is through the internet and through speaking through Facebook and Twitter. So the idea of the Arab Spring just started from the depression of people. We had a lot of problems. We had so much stress, And so we started to express our opinions and our political ideas through the internet, on writing on Twitter and on Facebook. As the youth began to start to deal with these ideas and start to gather a lot of people around, and after that, one day, it was the 25th of January, before it was the day of the revolution, the start of the Arab Spring in Egypt. You can just you could just find some people or some youth started to ask for each other in order to gather in a certain place in Egypt in order to ask for their rights and for freedom. And that was a very great effort because if we hadn't, for example, Facebook or Twitter, how can we connect to each other? How can we gather people around all over our country, all over this city, for example, in order to be unified, in order to go to a certain place and a certain time in order to ask for something. So I think Facebook has helped us a lot in order to do this idea. And when the government had just disconnected the cell phones and the connections, I think many people just tried to log onto the internet using the satellites or the wireless connection. So it was very beneficial for us.
I see. Did you personally do this, Sharif? Were you part of the protests, or did you use Facebook for these purposes?
Actually, for myself, no. Actually, because I'm just a new user for Facebook. I'm just using it for just 1 year.
Okay, but you knew people who did.
Yeah, I know. I knew some people who did so.
Okay, very interesting. So Sharif thinks that this was instrumental. Instrumental means very important. That Facebook was very important in allowing people who had issues that they wanted to complain about or voice with the government, they could use Facebook to organize the protests. And so people would know where to show up and when to show up.
And sometimes, sometimes you need just to write something in, for example, in newspaper or in a magazine. But in most of in our Arabic countries, we had some restrictions for writing and for publishing some things. So but for Facebook, it's so free. You can just write whatever you want.
Yes. Okay. So, but it depends. Sometimes the governments find a way to prevent Facebook from existing in their country. But in these cases, it was allowed, and it was instrumental, you think, in helping the protests. I also know people uploaded videos on YouTube of terrible things that happened.
Actually, they are still doing it in Syria.
Yes. Okay, but exactly. So state brutality, we can say, when the police or the government in a certain country do terrible things to the people, and somebody films.
Azerbaijan as well.
Yes, and somebody films this. This is how it started in Tunisia first, and then I think something in Egypt happened as well. Is that right, Vahid?
Yes, it is. Yes, the first they have started in Tunisia, and then they went to another Arabic countries.
Yes.
And the thing is happening also in Azerbaijan as well. So we have some kind of the problems here. Some protests. So I have the friends from the another parties, which is against the government party. So they are posting the videos on YouTube, and they are using the social media. They have created a lot of groups on the Facebook and also as well in Twitter. So they are sharing the video materials and other stuff which is happening in the protests and in the meetings. And
okay.
This is it.
Hizem, have you heard about this? Do you have an opinion about this?
Sorry, can you repeat it?
I said, have you heard about what we are talking about in the Arab Spring and the use of social media in the Arab Spring?
Actually, I just Googled it before the lesson, but I don't have a general idea about it.
Okay, that's okay. How about you, Johnny?
Hello?
Hello.
Repeat question.
I'm saying, have you heard, do you agree, Vahid and Sharif are from Egypt, and they were talking about the use of Facebook to organize protests and things like this, but not everybody agrees that Facebook and Twitter were extremely important in this revolution. It's very difficult to say because there are no real statistics and things like this. you know, and my opinion is that Sharif and Vahid are probably correct. They are from Egypt as well. But there are also many people around the world who think other things, for example.
Zachary, I think I agree. I agree with that. I think that social media is a good way to express the ideas. So many people can read it. Maybe they are. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. What happened?
That's okay. We can still hear you. Is everything okay, Johnny?
I think he's gone.
I have to leave right now. I'm sorry.
You have to. No problem, Johnny. I hope you come back again and we can talk some more.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Johnny, see you.
Have a nice day, Johnny. So I was going to say that the opinion against this is, it's not against it, but the opinion is that if there was enough of a problem and if there was enough suffering and enough anger, then these revolutions would happen anyway. And I think maybe that my opinion may not be the truth. My opinion is that yes, this is true. These revolutions would probably happen, but they wouldn't have the same scale and the same effect because if they did not have the tools of social media to organize and orchestrate the revolutions. So that's what I think.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Okay.
Here in Egypt, in November, that's after October, November, right? After October, November, yeah?
Yes.
In November 2010, we have his name is Khalid Said. Two cops were arresting him for unbubbling something on Facebook and they had kill him. And they know that we did it, but it was recorded by video. So the revolution had started maybe on that subject.
Okay, someone had posted something against the government, he was killed, and somebody had this on camera and they uploaded it to YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right, yeah. Okay, so in this way, of course, to spread the message and fuel the anger, then yes, of course, it's undeniable that social media had a big impact in this way. So let's talk about a couple more ways that people might benefit from social media. We can say this is a benefit. It's also very dangerous what we are talking about because people, in the case that Abdullah just mentioned, somebody was killed for using social media. And the same is true in Mexico. There are many drug cartels or drug organizations in Mexico, and people have used Twitter, for example, and other social media tools. Do I need to sign? Sorry, used other social media tools to talk about this and to expose the drugs organizations and things like this. And then sometimes they are found and they're tracked down and they are killed. So it's a very, very risky thing to do. But it's very important as well because it's in a place where people are punished for expressing themselves and talking. It's very important that they still find ways to do this so that everyone can know the truth of what's happening. I think. You carry on. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody wants my autograph, so.
He's a famous man.
He says I'm a famous man, so. Have a good day. Let me know. So yes. So this is one benefit. Ultimately, we can say this is a benefit because people who have things to express can express them, and I think that's a very good thing. What else? What other benefits do people have of social media? Olga mentioned at the beginning that when she wants to relax, she'll go on Facebook. Do other people use blogs or read a lot of news online, or maybe use Google Plus, or one of these other social networks or things like this? What kinds of things do you use it for that you feel is of benefit to you?
I use internet a lot for read newspaper.
Okay.
Read newspaper from every part of the world.
Okay.
So that's very interesting.
Do you ever... Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No, I want to say this. Use a lot of Facebook for communicate with my family, with my friends, or internet to get information about telecommunication or news about medicine or scientific newspaper.
Yeah, I think that I think Zach, the world has just been changed a lot. For example, in the past we didn't have used to have a lot of mass media, or for example social media, so people didn't used to express their opinions and to know about what happens around the world. But now it's so available to anyone and any person in order to have any news. It's so easy to just browse the internet and to jump from one site to another site in order to do what's going on. In addition, some people just try to get an idea from what happened through some comments of people. So through the Facebook or Twitter or something, you can just read some comments of Zach and John and Michael. So you can just have an idea what's Michael needs to say and what's, for example, Jennifer needs to say. That's absolutely very important because you don't have the chance to go out of the street every day in order to ask people about what do you think about, for example, this revolution. What do you think about this title or this news? So I think the mass media, especially the websites and the Facebook or Twitter, has just make it more easier for us in order to know what's going on in the minds of the people or the country itself.
Okay, I think Vahid is Sharif is absolutely right. It's about creating openness where there is no openness before. Does everyone understand this idea of openness? Open. Okay, so openness is a noun. Actually, maybe it has, openness. And if you think of a door, I have a door behind me there.
Yeah, it's open.
It's open. And if it's closed, then I will hit my head when I try to walk into it. So social media creates openness for people's opinions.
So what's the opposite of openness?
It's a very good question. It's not closeness.
Yeah, closure. I think.
No. It's for some reason we do not say this. We say openness and restrictiveness. I think you can say
restrictive from restrictions.
Yes, exactly. So restrictiveness is a society. If a society has lots of restrictiveness, it has many restrictions.
Yeah,
maybe
we say conservativeness.
Maybe too, but I think constraints is good as well. Constraints.
Yes, constraints. Yes.
So restrictions and constraints. So when a country has a government that bans things or censors things and doesn't allow freedom of speech and freedom of expression, then we call this well, it can be a dictatorship, but there are many restrictions and many constraints on people. And it can feel like you are wearing a straitjacket.
Yes.
A straitjacket is this. It's what they give people sometimes when mental patients, if they hit themselves or things like this, they put them in a jacket so you cannot move.
Yeah.
You cannot move, you see sometimes. And this is called a straitjacket. And we use this expression if you feel like you cannot move, things are not open, you cannot express yourself. And I think we all agree now that social media is a fantastic tool for allowing people to express themselves and allowing them to be heard in a meaningful way amongst many people. For example, companies now have to be more accountable. Does anyone know? Companies and governments have to be more accountable. Can anyone, Yi, do you know what the word accountable means?
Yeah.
Accountable.
Can you explain?
Accountable?
Yes.
Yeah. And maybe it also means feel very at ease. And
sorry?
Maybe at ease.
I think accountable is some person who is reliable.
It means it's almost this. It means that
dependable.
They have to be made responsible for everything. So everything that they do now, they have to be able to justify.
Account, to be in charge of something.
But more than this, it means you must justify everything. Who is accountable? Who is responsible?
Yeah, responsible.
Responsible. So if a country or a company is forced, they are forced to be responsible. Because if they are not responsible, then someone will go on Twitter or go on YouTube and they will tell the world this company or this government is not being responsible. Okay, so this is what so they're being held to account or made to be accountable. You say, okay?
Do you know some government that is accountable? It's very difficult, no? How a government called themselves be accountable?
Well, they do. Governments themselves do not really care about being. I mean, they should, but it's not their first priority to be accountable. But the people who elected the governments, the people who chose the governments, they make the governments account. It is their job to make the governments accountable. We elected you. Now you must do what is best for us.
Yeah, you have to be accountable.
Yes.
You have to take your responsibility and take anything which is beneficial for all the people.
Exactly. You're right. Okay, so does anyone use social media to share photos and things like this with friends? Is that a benefit? Olga, do you use this?
I use it, but it's not too much.
Okay.
Very seldom I share my photos, and I like to look in different my friends' pages, and I like read news in social media and to learn something interesting.
Okay, to learn something interesting. This is good. Wikipedia. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I use Facebook because all my friends use it, and if I want to email someone, I see that he's not logging on his email a lot, but he's logging on Facebook more than email. So I use Facebook to email them and send them a message, and to non-use too.
Excellent. Okay, so Abdullah uses Facebook more than email now to send messages, and I think this is a growing trend. So if you look at the graph of people who are doing this, it's going up. More people now use things like Facebook to communicate instead of email. Email is becoming old-fashioned almost. Okay, so I think there are many benefits of social media we have not discussed because we have not had time, and the class should finish now, but I'm going to keep going. So if anyone has to leave, then say goodbye and thank you for coming. But if not, I'll continue for a little bit longer because I've been running downstairs and quite slow and things. So
it's okay. Just start the train.
Yes, exactly. So another benefit is Wikipedia, for example. This is social media because people come together to make this encyclopedia, which is about knowledge. So social media is very good for spreading useful information. Not just about revolutions or companies or governments, but anything really that somebody knows about, they can put online and someone else can improve what they wrote, and it's a big conversation between everybody. And then we spoke about Facebook and sharing news updates, status updates and things like this. So there's a lot of good that comes from social media. Let's focus now a little bit on some of the more negative aspects of social media, and then we will decide ultimately, whether it's for good, for bad, and whether it's here to stay as well. Those two questions. So Yi, can you think of any bad aspects of social media to pick? I haven't picked on you properly.
Sorry.
Can you think of any bad aspects of social media that you can think of that you would like to share?
Maybe in China we usually use QQ. Maybe QQ, Weibo, or something else we usually use it to communicate with others or show pictures with others. Maybe.
But right now we're just focusing on the negative, on the bad side. So why do you think it might not be such a good thing to use social media?
That's it.
I think, you know, can I go?
Yes. Go ahead, Sharif.
I think, you know, one of the bad factor of using just mass media, I think, for example, some persons especially just trying to exploit some others' photos. For example, whenever I just try to upload my photo, maybe somebody else just try to download my photo and just try to make some effects or bad effects and just try to re-upload it again. So I think it's very bad for us in order to do this.
But there is a privacy. I mean,
yes.
You can change
the privacy. Yeah, but some people, you know, some people don't care about privacy, man.
Yes, no, but I think you're both correct. Privacy is a big issue that Facebook has been having to deal with for many years now, and sometimes they are criticized very heavily because of their policy on privacy. Now I think they're much better. But Vahid and Sharif bring up a very interesting point, which is that you know, Sharif says, you know, I'm annoyed if people use things that I upload without my permission, if people know too much about me, this kind of thing. And then Sharif is saying, well, Vahid is saying, well, you did it, you put this online, and then Sharif is like, yes, but people don't really think about that.
They don't care at all. Some people, of course, not all people, man, but some people. I know some people.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a very good point, and maybe we need to be informed more about what is happening and who is doing what with things that we upload to these social networks. So, you know, because I understand it's very easy now. It's part of the daily fabric of life. People will do this very naturally, and sometimes things bad can happen. You know, that people don't want to happen. That can affect their lives. So, to give one example, there was a lady on Facebook who took a week off work, and she said she was sick. She said, "I'm sick. I have to take a week off." And then, people at work, one person in her office was friends with her on Facebook, and she sees photographs of her on holiday.
Oh my God!
She was on the beach. She was on the beach.
Wow. So she was sick on the beach.
Yeah, well, this is what she said. But and it didn't end very well with her, and she got in a big lawsuit because she said it was an invasion of her privacy, something like this. In this example, I think she was a bit stupid and should think much more carefully about what she does. But sometimes it's not so obvious, and maybe you do something very innocently that can then be used against you. So you have to be careful with that.
Yeah.
How about, and man, I haven't spoken to you much. Are you still with us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you think of any negative consequences from social media?
Okay, guys, excuse me, I'll have to go now.
No problem. Thank you for joining,
Nice to meet you, Zach. Yes, nice to meet you, guys. Nice to meet you all.
Bye-bye. Hope to see you again.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think social media have some negative effect. For example, everybody thinks same things.
Okay. Can you elaborate? Elaborate means to tell us more.
Okay. For example, we watch the same movie. We close same clothing, and people media want to know just what they say.
People, sorry, can you say that last thing again?
Media want to say just what they give, what media give me.
Okay, I think you're saying the media just wants to say their own message and they don't care about what other people think.
Sometimes.
Yes. Okay, so this is more like traditional media now. I think this is an aspect of social media, but what I was saying before is that if the message is bad or people don't like it, then it will not last very long, or it will not be very popular, because the essence of social media is discussion and conversation. And so it's much harder for the media to force opinions on people. So it's harder for them to do this. But sometimes you're correct. And I think the first point you made was very, very true. a lot of us now will it brings communities together, but then sometimes I think Herman is saying it creates uniformity. So everyone then has the same opinions, you know. So maybe in the case of the revolution we talk about, I think it's very good because there was a lot that was happening that was very bad. But if for example, we think back to World War II and Nazi Germany, when this whole country, or so many people in the country, were accepting this idea that Judaism was bad and the Jewish people were evil, for example. And if Facebook existed then and Twitter existed, then maybe this would happen 10 times more quickly and everyone would think the same thing, but it would be wrong. It's because I personally think it was a terrible thing to think. I think most people do. And so everyone can think the same thing and it can be very bad sometimes, or it can just be boring. And man was saying everyone wears the same clothes, they listen to the same music. But I personally think this is not just the problem of social media. This can happen in any community, really. It's not just an online community. This is, you know, so, but it's a good point. It's a valid point, I think. Just before we finish on our final thought, I wanted to offer another opinion about why I think social media is negative. I think it wastes, you can waste a lot of time.
I mean, actually.
Yes, that's probably maybe the worst thing about it. Can people maybe give some examples of how they waste time on social media?
So I want to go on. So actually, I think just when you're just opening the Facebook, this and you just writing you, and you are maybe waiting half hour talking to him, and say if another also write you on the other one is also maybe writing you, and half more hour here, and again it continues like that. I mean, I had a lot of problem with it. So every time when I'm logging in, so some friends is writing me, and the other one also. It took a lot of time for me.
Yes. So Bahid is saying that he will make a status update. Everyone knows what a status update is, do they?
Yeah.
Yes. And then other people will comment. They will leave the comment, and then he has to go back and comment on that person's comment, or maybe like it. You know, you can like things on Facebook with you do the thumbs up. And then someone else comments, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. And it's a very silly conversation. It's not a valuable, usually it's not a very valuable discussion that's taking place. So I read a statistic before when I prepared for the class that there are 60 million status updates every day on Facebook. And I wonder how many of those status updates are people saying that they are brushing their teeth, or they're eating eggs for breakfast, or they're having a really bad day, something that no one really cares about. So I see this all the time, and it feels good for you. It makes you feel that people are listening to you, and so maybe that's a small benefit. But more often than not, you should be working, or you should be doing something else, and instead you are wasting time. Go ahead, Yi. Yi, were you saying something?
Yeah. Because my roommates gave me keys, so.
Okay. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to hear you. I don't think the connection is that good. But anyway.
Yes. Sometimes I cannot hear something very clearly, so I just try my best to practice my listening, maybe.
Okay, fair enough. And Johnny, are you still with us, or did you have to go? It looks like you're still. You are still there. Okay. To finish off, do you have any bad thoughts about social media? Do you agree with what we were saying?
I think that people maybe sometimes forgot her life. You know, forgot the real life.
People can forget their real life.
Forget the real life when he stay in social media.
Okay.
I think that because they are they pass all the day with a cell phone, send a message. I don't know. Sometimes they are talking to you, but they not look into you, or they not see you, they not look your eyes, because they are look his cell phones.
Okay, so they do not look you in the eyes. To look someone in the eyes.
They are talking to you, but you feel that that person is not with you. It's not stayed with you, because they're more for he or for her, or for he or for she, or for he or for him or for her. It's more important to pay attention to Facebook, Twitter, but don't talk to you.
Okay.
But don't talk to you.
So yes, Johnny brings up a very good point for us to end on, which is that many people think that with social media, we are losing the human connection, the connection that we feel to each other as human beings, with skin and bones and flesh and a mouth and eyes. This very raw feeling of, I am a human being, this is my body, and there's something about the real connection that you form with another human.
We lost the human connection.
That we lose with social media. I think that's a very, very true point, and that's something that going forward, I think we need to be very conscious of. Does everyone understand to be conscious of something? Conscious of. If you are conscious, it means you keep it in mind. You always think, am I spending too much time with my digital friends instead of my real friends, for example? But I think this is something we can be responsible about, and I think that this does not mean that social media should not exist or it will not exist, but it's something that we should be aware of and make sure that we approach this in the right way, I think. Okay, so let me just ask you, Olga, because I haven't picked on you, do you think now that we've had this big discussion that social media is here to stay? Is it going to be a permanent feature of most of our lives, or is it going to sort of disappear in 10 or 20 years and the internet will look very different from how it is now?
I think it's very good opportunities for teenagers to have connection with different countries, and I think it's never gone in future.
You think it will not be gone in the future?
It not will gone in the future because it's very busy time, and we haven't time in reality conversation because we have a lot of work or.
Oh, I think we lost you for a second there. Oh, you said we don't have time for real conversation?
Yeah, and I think it's very good if we have a media online service. It's easy to speak. For example, I have a lot of acquaintances from different countries.
Acquaintances? You have a lot of acquaintances?
Acquaintances from Kazakhstan, from Russia. Russia, we have a big country, from Turkey and from USA. And it's very easy for me to know about my friends and my acquaintances. And
okay, good. Yeah, sorry, was that it, or did you want to say something else? That was it. Okay, so yes, so Olga joined the two questions together. My question was, is social media here to stay, or is it a fad? Is it just a fad? And also, is it good overall, or is it bad? And I think Olga answered the question, both questions. She said, I think it's here to stay, it's here for the future, because it's good.
I think it's good. It's positive. We must find positive in this service.
Yes, it's more positive than negative, and therefore human beings will want social media to carry on, and they will want to keep using it for all of these purposes that we have discussed. Whether it's sharing with people, communicating, helping to organize protests, all kinds of things, finding out about things on Wikipedia, talking about the news and this kind of thing.
So learning English.
Learning English. There we go. That's the perfect way to end the lesson. social media is here. Hopefully we all learned a bit, even though there's 5 of us left, but that's because I'm 20 minutes over time. But hopefully we all you know, felt that you could all speak a little bit and learn a bit more English than you knew before, and carry on the habit of speaking English, because that keeping the habit is the most important way, was the best way to improve your English, I think. So hopefully you guys will keep coming back, and we can have more discussions like this in the future.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for coming, guys, and I will be back again next week. So I hope you
have a nice weekend.
Thank you. You too, Olga, Manuel, Johnny, Herman, and Vahid. I hope you all have good weekends as well.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.